podcast streets are crazy. The oversaturated market is going down. It's being destroyed. I'm your guys Del May to tell you why. Well, I'm not here to tell you why. I'm here to form an opinion and go through this opinion with you from a podcast of a person who helped start the Joe Budden podcast, Ian Schwartzman. Yes, Ian Schwartzman is here to tell us why the industry of podcasting is, and let's go see if we agree. The industry of podcasting is going to, for most, it's built on propped up false hope deals. The foundation can be enormous for creators, but they continue to choose safety over long-term stability and exponential growth. All the upside is handed over to corporations when it should be maintained by the creator. The majority of power for most rests in the hands of companies cutting checks. The creator community is terrified of building their own foundation, so they agree to build skyscrapers for the big tech giants instead. They de-risk themselves. The upside is always captured by the big companies. The creators are left to fight for their value. This is when outliers like us, the Joe Budden Network, comes into play. We represent the believers and doers. We push all in with our chips, not for our personal gain, but to send a message to a larger community. Do it yourself works, because scared is okay, but being a worker is scarier. Choose your path. As you know, in a debate between Lowe and Gilbert, we found out, as I stated, Gilbert Arenas does not fully own his podcast. We even found out that Lexi and Cheryl Swoops was fired by, was it FanDuel they with? Whoever they with, whichever sports booking company they with. They were fired. And Gilbert didn't even know what had happened. He got his friends' bags, he got a money share, but he didn't know what happened. That's the freedom that Ian's saying. You look, they use his name to build something. Now, I don't know how much money they're making off of it. You know, Gilbert said he gets a good check. And I understand. It comes back to even the Lane Kiffin situation, right? Do you do it yourself and build your own? Or do you go to a place with a foundation already and it's less scary? Gilbert Arenas, of course, has with his name, he can choose to do this. He can use his name power, his entertainment value on the internet to make these kind of deals. And maybe he goes independent when the deal's up. Who knows? Here's that option. But a lot of podcasts are sponsored by people, and even their opinions are now sponsored. You can't even trust their opinions because people pay them for their opinions. They build their audiences. Some of them don't. Some of them buy their audience. They buy YouTube channels already established with a lot of viewers to manipulate you into thinking they're popping. And these companies do it as well. They will buy a company or a YouTube channel who is not active anymore, have 2 million subscribers, and you start off with a 2 million subscriber low. Nope, that some of them, even the viewers, get pushed this content and all that. And even if they don't, you a channel that look like you're big. You can buy like these weird Biden things. You know, it doesn't work all the time on YouTube. It's a lot harder. Twitch, you can easily do it. But you can do things to manipulate the audience and think you popping. That's the problem with being a small content creator on your own. And that's the fear that Ian's talking about. Because bigger names and companies can buy views and stuff like that and get you started on something that you might not have, because we are obsessed with titles. You're the biggest YouTube channel. You have 1 million subs. You must know what you're talking about. You're the richest man, so you're the smartest. All these things that may not be true, but we use them as like reference, right? If this video has 10 million views, you're gonna have 10. I'm gonna that person with 10 million views know more what he's talking about than the person with 10. Not me personally, but people in general, right? He must know what he's talking about. People are listening to him. That's a flawed logic, but having that foundation, as Ian said, let's create that. I know this video a little boring, more boring than normal, but this is some of the content. I don't know y'all thoughts on this. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's easier to go the Lane Kiffin route, the Gilbert Arenas route, go to a more established foundation than the DIY, do it yourself, build it yourself? And what's the pros and cons of it? Let's quickly do that. Because to be honest, most of us can't do that, right? We don't have the fame or notoriety of a Gilbert Arenas. But let's go to the pros and cons if you did have it. What's the pro of having a foundation? If they're willing to give you money, you will have a lot of money. And you will feel like you could create your own thing elsewhere. Even if you don't do it with it. as Gil said, the same way Lane said. I have a foundation. I have a state. I'm mixing a bunch of these together because it's fun to me. But I have a state in which I'm the only recruiting base. LSU, Louisiana. There's no other big school in Louisiana beat LSU in that Friday. They're the SEC. Whereas Mississippi, you have Mississippi State. Matter of fact, you have Tuscaloosa, which is closer than to most of Mississippi than Oxford, which is near Memphis, near Tennessee, the furthest, most northern place you can about get Mississippi. Then you have Baton Rouge, is close on this side to the Delta than that. You have Southern Miss, which is not as big. It's kind of like Tulane, but they do have names like Brett Favre and stuff. They can hold their hat on, and it's cool to see that their names are on a plaque up there that you can Hall of Famers like Ray Guy. You can see Ray. You used to see Ray Guy on campus when I was in school. It was cool. It was a thing to do. This trophy is literally named after this. So it's an easier place, right? The same thing with Gilbert Arenas. He would have to build his own set, pay his money, and pay people to be on the show with him, which probably put him at a loss. But if they do it, they already have an established thing, and they can help me grow and promote and market and do the thing. It's basically a free market anywhere FanDuel is, whatever the sporting book. It's an easier route, right? But the problem is, like I said earlier, you lack a creative control. And here's the con. Gilbert apparently didn't know Cheryl Swoops and Lexi was let go. Because again, they own it. Let's go back to the statement. We push in all our chips, not for our personal game, but to send a message to the larger community. Do yourself work. Being scared is okay, but being a worker is scary. It is. There are more risk in doing it themselves. It is. It's an illusion. It's de-risk. It's everything. Ian saying it's more risk to do that. But I don't know your thoughts. Do you agree? You think it's more of a risk to do that? Or do you think that is, I would, easier bag, right? We have seen the ups and downs of the Joe Budden podcast before we get successful. We've seen the ups and downs of the Joe Rogan podcast before it's successful. If you know what you know. It goes to the thought process that it's hard, but it's worth it when you go. It's all low thought. I can't imagine somebody else owning my thing. And it might be hard at times. You might lose revenue. You might lose it. Somebody can easily fund me. It's that thought, right? I could be successful if somebody funded me. We all have that thought. If I had a job that paid me, I can just gave me a little free time, I can do what I want and make it on my own. Versus the risk of, okay, got this job. Let me take a job with a little less money, but I can survive off of it and just grind for my business. And let me spend my own money to market and do things that's risky. I know end of the day, it might work and it might not. But if it works, I got full control over everything. I know everything that's going on. I can do the things I want to do. I don't have to do shows I don't want to do. I don't have to do things I don't want to do. I'm not a worker. I'm the CEO. But overall 99 Media, LLC, or entertainment, I'm the leader. I'm the captain. But if somebody else on it, they can tell me what to do with it. So I get both sides. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you agree with Ian? Think that the podcast industry being destroyed by not only thought, unadmitted goal, oversaturation. I love you. Or that we simply go on corporate and that it won't end up working for most people and it's gonna go the way of Spotify, SoundCloud, and you haven't heard of an artist big on Sound. Let me know in the comments, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell. That last one kind of hit, didn't it? Appreciate y'all. Like, make sure you do all that stuff. Have a great day. Something amazing happen. Peace.